Greetings and welcome to SmartWatch Ticks. Oh, it's an exciting day. It's Christmas Day, and Mr. Ticks has a Christmas present. Now, what do you get a guy who pretty much has every smartwatch you can imagine? A smartwatch for Christmas, of course. In this box, is a present from Morry, our contributing reviewer here at SmartWatch Ticks, who promised a while back that he was going to send out a Gear S3. Yep, a Samsung Gear S3 smartwatch. I thought he was going to send the watch. You know what? I think he was talking about sending a review of the watch. Aw, shucks. Well, he does great reviews, so let's see what he has to say.
Hi, and welcome to SmartWatch Ticks North. Yes, you heard it, North. This is an episode of SmartWatch Ticks coming to you from Morry, that's my name, and from Canada, the Great White North. And believe me, it is very white these days. At any rate, the reason why I'm doing this video is to introduce you to my brand new Samsung Gear S3. Mr. Ticks found out that I was going to be getting this watch and asked me if I would mind doing a review on it as soon as I did. Well, I didn't do the review as soon as I got it. I thought I'd wear it for a week or two just to see what it's all about. So let's get right to it. This is the Gear S3. On the back is a heart rate sensor. Pretty much all that's on the back, so there's no real point in showing you that. The most important part of this watch is this part, the rotating bezel. Now I'm just going to block my code because I have my credit card in here and there's a code to let you get in to be able to use it. So there's actually a button here you can see and a button here, and I think you can see at this angle right there is a microphone hole. Okay, on the other side, we simply have those three holes, which is a speaker, and you're going to get to hear what that sounds like shortly. This is a watch face that I like. It seems pretty popular. It's showing my steps almost at 1,000 or 10,000 actually for tonight. My last heart rate was 64 beats per minute. My battery is at 24%, which you will find quite interesting in a moment or two, or 3 or 4. And the weather right now where I am is 2 degrees Celsius. So I'm sure you can see just by looking at the watch right now that the quality of the screen is immaculate. It is, classic Samsung, Super AMOLED, fantastic resolution, wonderful color representation. Everything about it is just phenomenal. Now, one of the things that I have to tell you is that this watch actually has a slower processor and less memory than many of the watches that Mr. Ticks actually reviews. However, one thing I need to point out is that it is incredibly efficient and really, really, really fast. Okay, I have no notifications right now, but just watch this. No lag at all. You can just see me flying through my different screens. So this is actually how you navigate the watch. So we'll just navigate a little over and we'll be able to see what the current temperature is near my home. You can see there's a little arrow at the bottom. I can either tap that arrow or move forward. So let's just tap the window and it shows me the ability. You see a little line down the side as far as full weather. So it gives me weather forecast for tomorrow, different times during the day. And then we move on to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it shows the update. We tap gently and the watch updates the weather relatively quickly. Now, this is the Gear S3 Frontier. However, it is not LTE. In Canada, they do not offer the LTE version. Okay? So the bottom key is used as a home button, and this key is used to go back one step at a time, much like many of the Chinese watches that you're used to seeing here. So let's go on Well, actually, one of the things I want to mention before I go on is that many of the watch faces are interactive, which means I can tap on the steps total and it takes me to my steps. If I tap on it again, it goes to different days. So I can use the bezel and rotate through to different days. My goal is 10,000 steps. So I'm not quite there today, and because I'm doing this video, I probably won't get there today, but I'm still very, very close. So we want to go back just one step, so we'll just hit here. Okay, I've climbed 8 floors, and again, it shows you different things. We can go to exercise, and interesting about exercises is you can actually pick the activity type. So we have running, walking, cycling, hiking, elliptical training. Sorry, I flew by the exercise bike, step machine, treadmill, lunges, crunches, squats, star jumps, Pilates, yoga, rowing machine, and other types of workouts. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that this will actually automatically figure out what you're doing when you're doing it. But an interesting aspect is, let's just say we're going to do some star jumps. It actually gives you a representation of what you need to do in order to accomplish the feat. Okay, so you can do exercises. You go into S Health, shows you the calories that you burned that day, how many steps you've done, how many floors you've walked, different types of workouts. This is interesting. This shows you, based on your age, where you rate amongst other Samsung Gear S3 users as far as what they've done today. So today I'm in the top 7% overall and the top 8% as far as my age group is concerned, which is pretty cool. So we go back. Okay, we can check our heart rate. It tells me what my heart rate was an hour ago. If I was wearing it, I would be able to do this. Here, let's see if it'll... Okay, there you are. It senses it's not on my hand. So let's put my finger there and see if it'll measure my finger. Apparently it will. So there you go. Let's see how accurate this is, because I have a pretty good idea. Yeah, that's not too bad. So it gives you your heartbeat, your heart range. It tells you whether it's normal or not and gives you an opportunity to tag it in a certain way. It allows you to record how many glasses of water and coffee. Then you can go into the settings where you can set up your profile. You can ask it to nudge you for different reasons. If you're sitting still too long, for instance. Workout detection, you can set that so it'll figure out what you're doing automatically. Step targets, floor targets, automatic heart rate, so it takes you during the day, and water, caffeine, and of course help. So we go back. S-Voice is kind of cool. A lot of people badmouth S-Voice, but one thing I particularly like about it is that it actually allows you to create your own call phrase. So with Siri, you have to say, hey Siri. With Google Now, you go, okay Google. But, oh, there goes my phone. Thought I said it. Okay, let's ignore that. All right. So, however, with S-Voice, you can do whatever you want. For instance, computer, what is the weather forecast for today?
Saturday we'll have a combination of snowflakes and rain.
Saturday it will be slushy with a high of 4 out there.
So the first words you heard came from my phone, because my phone got activated by the command as well. The second one came from the onboard speaker of the actual watch, which we will check out in a little while. Settings, you can adjust things like the style, so you can pick your watch faces. You can say if you want the watch always on or not. Notification indicators, show on watch face. The background style, so you can actually pick different backgrounds, whether it's solid, black, or a patterned black. You can see the different types showing up on the screen, different colors. You'll notice these little dots at the top. That lets you know how many options you have. You can choose the font that you want as well. Small, large, the type of font as well. So it's actually quite nice. Then you can choose sounds and vibration. So currently I have most of the sound off. I just use vibration. You can choose the volume, the vibration intensity, and the type of buzz. So you can choose different patterns, if you will. You can also choose different ringtones for when the phone rings, ringtone vibrations, and different sounds for notifications as well as the vibrations. Now, I don't like it beeping or vibrating when I touch it or when I use the bezel, because to me that's just a waste of power. Let's move on to device next. Okay, so this is a particular option for when you double press the home key, all right, which is the key down here. I have it coming up with settings, but you can actually pick whatever you want. You can pick settings. I have Spotify on here. This is a pretty cool app. I'll try to show you it a little bit later as well. It allows me to see YouTube on the actual watch. So I'm just going to leave that the way it is right now. It allows us to have the wake-up gesture, which is that standard twisting of the wrist, of course. Touch sensitivity is a very cool option. Now, I don't have gloves with me, but actually this allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the touch screen so that you can actually use it with gloves. You can use it with leather driving gloves, or you can use it with winter gloves as well. This is a do not disturb option, pretty self-explanatory, I think. Auto open apps is pretty cool. What that does is that allows you to rotate the bezel to different apps, and if you let it sit for a couple of seconds, it will automatically open the app. That's very cool. I've never seen that either on another watch. So, all right, let's go to the display. We can set the display brightness to different levels. You can see even at 1, it's still quite visible. I usually have it at about 5 or 6 because that allows me to see it nice and clear during the day, but it also allows me to see it very nicely at night and when I'm outdoors. Okay, auto low brightness automatically adjusts. It's kind of like a light sensor, which I don't bother with. I set the screen timeout to 15 seconds normally, but for the sake of this, I have it on for 5 minutes so that the screen is less likely to turn off. Calls are interesting because I can voice answer, and I'm actually going to set it to do that. So I can say the word answer or reject between rings or vibrations to accept a call. Even though this isn't LTE, I do get my calls through from my phone. So I will choose to activate that. We go to messages. With messages, this is very cool as well. When you dictate your message to your watch, it gives you the option of, do you want to send it as a text message or do you want to send it as an audio message? That's very cool. So you can send audio files over MMS. Very, very cool. Connections. Now, this is going to play a large part in what I'm going to tell you about the battery life on this thing shortly. So this is how I have it all the time. Okay, I have my Bluetooth on all the time. I have my Wi-Fi on all the time. I have my NFC on all the time. Now, even though I'm in Canada, the bank that I am a member of actually has a credit card which is set up as a beta testing for Samsung Pay. That's another option that this watch has. Absolutely amazing thing. I've used it a bunch of times. It's never failed. I think I'm the only person in Canada with it, by the way, because this is actually an American watch. The Canadian watches don't even have the software available for it yet, but I was able to get an American watch from a fantastic company called B&H Photo out of New York. And as a result of that, I had the software pre-installed and was able to activate my CIBC credit card, which was very cool. I've chosen to have Bluetooth disconnection alerts, of course, airplane mode, standard, and location on. So all the time location is on, all the time NFC is on, all the time Wi-Fi, all the time Bluetooth. A lot of people say that drains battery. And I suppose it does, but interestingly enough, I'm getting minimum 2 days of battery And that means never turning the watch off, by the way, having it on all the time, making phone calls totaling between 30 and 45 minutes, even up to an hour of total phone calls, payments, 8 or 9 payments using the NFC, and so using NFC for touch and, tap and swipe options, because Samsung Pay is the only one that'll do both, by the way. I can't tell you the looks I'm getting from retailers who say, I can't do this. You can't do it. It doesn't work that way. And then I say, just give me the machine. And lo and behold, it works. Accessibility is for people who need that kind of an issue. I don't have it personally, but it's a great option for people who need it. Input allows you to choose the different keyboards and keyboard settings. Power saving, I haven't needed. Okay. And gear info, of course, gives different info with respect to the different software and firmware and things like that. I can report diagnostic information. I can reset my gear and do some debugging if necessary. This option allows me to connect to a new phone without unpairing from the previous phone. So that's basically the settings. There's some extra apps. I've installed the ESPN app. I'm a bit of a sports fan. Now this is cool. We have altimeter and barometer. So the altimeter lets you know the last 6 hours of where you've actually been. Now, they suggest in the app that you update whenever you use it to get the most accurate information. So you'll notice that the numbers change there. Now we're more accurate. So the last 6 hours, about 124 meters. Now, if you look at the barometer, generally speaking, the higher the barometer, the nicer the weather. Not always exactly the case, but that's how it more or less works out. So you can see that in the last 6 hours, the weather conditions have been getting better where I am. This is very good because it can give you a warning before the weather network lets you know what's going on, that maybe some bad weather is coming or maybe some good weather is coming as well. I have a calendar, which is quite cool because it actually allows me to do things. So you can see that today is Saturday, December 24th, and it's Christmas Eve all day. Isn't that something? So now it's Christmas all day because it has just passed midnight. And now it's Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there who celebrates. And for those of you who celebrate other things, happy holidays to you too. So let's get out of the calendar. You can also add events and take events away and things like that. You can scroll ahead to different months. And then again, when you tap on it, you go straight to the date. So I have a cool app here that does currency conversions. I actually work, even though I'm in Canada, I work in US funds. So it gives me currency conversions as far as what is happening with the currency at the time. So I know what the exchange rates are. Spotify, very cool. Spotify originally was supposed to be available when this watch launched, but it has since become available. It is terrific. So unable to start Spotify. There we are. So because I don't have the LTE, I have to stream it over Wi-Fi with a remote option. I do not have paid Spotify, and because of that, it doesn't let me, do it over the speaker of the watch, but I'll do the YouTube one. You'll be able to see some information there. Anyway, it's taking a little while. My phone is a little bit far away, so maybe it's just not picking it up. Let's just give it another second, though, just in case. Just in case it wants to try to get it. It would be nice to show it to you if possible. There we go. So, that's playing on my phone. Okay, we don't want to get anyone in trouble here, so we're not going to play any more than that. Okay? So we're going to back out of Spotify. Scroll over. Now, these 4 options, you see apps, that's actually the ability to add these, and then I can pick whatever apps I want. So I can find my car, I can find my phone, if I lost my phone. And I use the Spider-Man theme as my ringers. So there you go. Even if your volume is low on your phone, even if your phone is locked, it will still ring and it will still light up. So that's really quite cool. These dots at the side, by the way, which you probably see, offer you options. So I can even locate my phone. There you go. So it even finds your phone, literally finds your phone. Now we have GPS on board. This is Gear Navigator standalone. I can actually get directions without my phone. Okay, and I've got another navigation app on here as well. It allows you to do voice memos, so let's just test one. This is a test of the Samsung voice memo system, and we're going to see, hopefully it's going to play over the speaker of the watch so everyone out there can hear how it sounds. Thank you. This is a test of the Samsung voice memo system, and we're going to see, hopefully it's going to play over the speaker of the watch so everyone out there can hear how it sounds. Thank you. Okay, we're going to play it again, and this time I'm going to lower the volume by increments so you can hear how it sounds. That was on full. This is a okay, that allows you to rewind it. See? However, if I want to adjust the volume... This is a test of the Samsung voice memo system, and we're going to see, hopefully it's going to play over the speaker of the watch so everyone out there can hear how it sounds. Thank you. But anyway, that gives you an idea. So, hold it down and delete it. Very simple, very intuitive. Okay, let's get out of that. This is a flashlight. You can see how everything around is getting darker because that's so bright. That allows you to see in the dark rather well. This is a recent apps button, which is very good because sometimes you don't want to eat up all your memory. You just close everything, gets everything out of memory. This is an app I downloaded. I saw a YouTuber do a interesting review of this app. And this is a YouTube app. So we will let it load and hopefully it will go without a glitch so that we can see some, at least a little bit of an interesting YouTube video. So first of all, you can scroll through and pick different topics, which it will then show you, I guess, whatever is trending in these topics. Or you can do a search. So I can write by hand, H, hi, okay, and then space, how, O, right, and then another space, R, U. So you see how easy that is. That works really well. However, let's say you don't want to type at all. Okay. So what we can do is use the dial to move on. And now we can speak. SmartWatch ticks. Enter. Now let's see what happens. We're loading. There you are. Look at that. We have brought up SmartWatch ticks, and look at that great rating. Isn't that wonderful? So we have a bunch of videos, which I believe we can actually use these to show a little because I don't think Mr. Ticks is going to complain. So let's just see what we should check out. Well, why don't we just check out the first one that showed up. And you're going to hear and see Mr. Ticks do a little bit of his review here on the Samsung Gear S Frontier.
Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatch Ticks. It is an exciting day for unboxing a new watch. This one is interesting. I've been talking a little bit about Apple in a couple of the other videos and saying, you know, you really only have one choice with Apple, kind of like the old Ford. What color you want it in? Any color you want as long as it's black. Well, with these watches, not only do you have choice, but oftentimes you have some that look very similar to each other. Let's open it up and see. This is a nice box. First of all, look at that nice cardboard presentation box. Good for
Okay, I think that's sufficient.
Just as it is.
We can stop that and back out. But there you go. That's a really cool app, especially with the great sound. It allows us to hear everything. This is the music app that comes with the watch, okay? So I've actually downloaded some stuff onto the watch itself. You see the watch is here, so it'll play over the watch. If I click that button, now it will play over the phone. So let's just hit play. Okay, that was playing over the phone. Now we're switching it to the gear, and these are the ones that I have. I like old-time radio, so this is an old series called Nightmare, and it's a particular episode that I liked. Also, this is a great story. War of the Worlds is the original broadcast from 1938, so let's hear that a little.
The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
You can hit the volume and adjust the volume. That was kind of loud, so. Okay, just to let you hear what some music might sound like. That's a little sample that Samsung gives you on the watch. Okay, well, that should give you an idea for that. Now we're back to the watch itself. So, this is basically the watch. Now, if you go this way, you get notifications, of which I have none right now. If you go this way, as I showed you, all of these other options. Now look at how fast that is. There is like absolutely no lag whatsoever. Now something very cool is if you hit the home button from the watch, you actually get recent apps. And you get all the apps. So if I want to clear the recent apps, because I do want to do that, I just hit close all. I use the bezel. I have messages. I can make phone calls or receive phone calls. I have my contacts, S Health, which we looked at, the weather, which we looked at, settings, the music player, S Voice, of course. And this takes us to the next page. I can either tap the screen or roll over. I can set reminders, altimeter, barometer, schedule, set alarms, world clocks, gallery. I have pictures, so I uploaded some pictures, which are kind of cool. So here's some pictures that I had taken of me a little while ago, and you can see they were kind of artistically flared. Kind of weird. I don't know if they're artistic or not, but they're weird anyway. Okay. And here's a interesting picture of me. I'm not quite sure how that got on there, but anyway, there you go. It's showing it to you anyway. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Okay, we go back. Again, find my phone, which we showed you earlier. This is email, which I actually don't use this email app, but I do use a different email app on my phone, and the watch lets me respond to any message at all that I get. So we go to the next page, and again, you can see at the top there's little dots there that tells you how many pages you have. I don't know what the total amount of pages that there are, or that you can use, but I can't imagine going over 8 or 9 anyway, and I'm sure it goes up to a 10 regardless. Again, Samsung Pay, I don't want to show you my credit card info, so we're not going to do that. This is that YouTube app that I was telling you about. Find My Car, the Gear S Navigator, the light, the voice memo. It, of course, has the ability to download a timer and a stopwatch and calculator. There's my currency converter. NPR One, that's a great little app. It allows you to listen to the news and all kinds of stuff that you may want to do. Navigator, ESPN, and Spotify. Let's say I wanted a different watch, much like with all of the Chinese watches, and it's a pretty standardized fare. You just press and hold, and it gives you the options. Different watch faces, to choose from. Some of these you can buy, some of these you don't have to buy. Some of these you can get for free. I paid for some of them, others I, didn't. But depending on how complicated you want the watch face to be, I guess there's no reason to really go through all of them. You can kind of see what they look like. Now this is interesting. This is actually a background, just a picture that I took. And I don't know if you can see or not, but it has the time just at the bottom. So you put whatever picture you want. I suppose I could have put a darker picture in there. This is a fitness watch face that allows you to compete against other people, and it would show you and the other person there, assuming you had someone that you were going up against, which I don't. Okay, again, we have another watch face. It shows you how many floors, workout minutes, steps, and calories. Different faces. Really depends on your taste. There's so many different styles, and it's just incredible, really. This is kind of a cool face. Now, you may notice the eye actually moves. So that's really kind of freaky. Anyway, that's a pretty favorite face for me as well. This is a launcher face, so it gives you the opportunity to actually launch different apps depending on where you are and what you want to do. And you can set up these apps however you want. Okay. So, let's go back. More watch faces, more launchers, different types. Okay, you can get more watch faces as well simply by going and clicking, and you can pick what you want, and they have free ones, and you can go online and get more expensive ones. Well, I guess anything is more expensive if it costs money, right? Okay, so let's go back. I'm just going to put back on the watch face. That is my personal favorite. That's this one right here. Okay, so now we're going to swipe down from the top. You can see I have 16% battery left. I can go quickly to the music app. I can airplane mode. I can make it so do not disturb. I can change the volume and the brightness just from here. It also tells me how I'm connected. So I'm connected via Bluetooth, but you'll notice up at the top I'm also connected on Wi-Fi. Okay, and again, 16% left. Now, that is including all kinds of talking on the phone, on the watch. That includes all kinds of GPS, between half an hour and 45 minutes worth of GPS at least. And we're now looking at the Gear app on my phone. So, the interesting thing, and I was telling you about the battery, so let's deal with the battery first. On the app, it actually tells you estimated time left. So you can see 7 hours and 22 minutes estimated left. If you want to find out more about the information here, you just tap it and it updates. So it gives you an outline of everything that might be using the power. But more importantly, and you'll see here, 1 day, 22 hours, 24 minutes, and 43 seconds on battery. And I still have 16% left after very, very heavy use. Now, that is without actually turning the watch off. The watch has been on the whole time, okay? All of this time, the whole almost 2 days now, plus however much longer it's going to go. The watch has been on nonstop. It has been used nonstop. Now, I should tell you that I've had 2 pebbles. Okay, I've had a Pebble Time and the original Pebble. And using both of those watches just for a lot of notifications and some backlighting, it never lasted me more than 3 days before I had to charge. This watch with GPS, location services on all the time. This watch with NFC on all the time. This watch with Wi-Fi on all the time. This watch with Bluetooth on all the time and using the crap out of it is lasting easily over 2 days. So I know a lot of you might be a little upset that Pebble is gone, but believe me, their marketing was kind of funny. Because if you actually used their watch for anything other than telling time, there's no way it was going to last you a week or 5 days. At any rate, no, I'm not, doing a tirade on Pebble here. I'm sure they're fine watches in their own right. But I'm just explaining to you how the battery on this watch is beyond reproach. Absolutely beyond reproach. Okay? So it also gives us our storage. Now, one thing I should tell you about the storage is that most of it is taken up by the operating system. So it says here that there's 1.4 gigabytes being used, available, and most of what's being used is actually being used by the system. Okay? Then we have RAM. We can also free up some storage and free up some RAM. We can do updates. We can back up and restore, which is very good if you have problems and you need to reset to factory. Okay? I didn't make any payments today in the last 20 minutes, so they don't show up here, but I have made lots of payments and they're actually really, really good. You have the ability to check out watch faces right from the app, also apps right from the app. Uber, Glimpse, Spotify is new. There are a bunch of complaints that maybe there aren't enough options in the App Store. I find that not to be the case. Okay, so then we click on settings. It allows you to pick your watch faces. If you don't want to do it from the watch, you can do it from the app. And we have all these different watch faces to choose from. If you can stylize, that's how they call doing changes to the watch face, then you'll see a little stylized notation up there. You tap on it, you're ready to go. Notifications, you can manage your notifications. You can select which ones you want to actually use or get and what apps you don't want to get notifications from. So you can see I've got a few apps on my phone. You pick and choose which ones you want. 69 of my applications are chosen. So interesting options here. You can show the actual notifications only when you're wearing the watch. So if you're not wearing the watch, you don't have to show the notifications. That's very good. It saves on battery, and what's the point? You can have it set to show while you're using your phone or not. You can have it turn on the screen when new notifications come in. There's a notifications indicator, which I will show you right now. That little gold or yellow dot to the left of the screen at the 9 o'clock position. That's all it is. In Android Wear, it's a real pain in the rear end because you see this giant card at the bottom that really gets in the way. You have the ability to do smart relays. So when you open something on the watch, it'll automatically open it on the phone. Okay? You can reorder the apps on those little wheels that we showed you. Sending content to the gear is amazing. You can select music tracks or photos from your phone and send them through Bluetooth right to your watch. Very nice. It has an SOS request, so if I triple tap the bottom key, the home key, 3 times quickly, it will automatically send my location and a message and call my emergency number. Find My Gear, of course, gives you the opportunity to erase and lock your device if someone steals it. Gear Connection tells you, of course, how you're connected. It also gives you the option that if you lose your connection to your phone, it will connect via Wi-Fi. You can create your own quick messages. You can share with social networking. You can set up Samsung Pay. You can go to the Galaxy App Store, etc., etc. So you have the opportunity from the app to disconnect, connect a new gear, check out the user manual. Everything is very nice and very user intuitive. So there you go. That is the Galaxy S3 Frontier. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope I haven't gone on too long, but I really love this watch, and it's something that I could go on about forever. At any rate, Mr. Tix, I hope you enjoyed this as well, and I hope it has helped others to see just how valuable the watches that you are, promoting and showing are, considering the value you get for the price. This watch retailed at $300, $299 US, and that was on sale. Normal price is, I think it's $349, so pretty expensive with respect, as if you compare it to the Chinese watches that Mr. Tix reviews. And you can see the differences. There's definite differences. The build quality on this watch is absolutely amazing. The watch itself comes with a smaller band down here, but this stays the same. So you actually get a large and a small, depending on the size of your wrist, that you can use. Watch bands are very cheap on eBay or on Amazon if you wanted to get alternate colors, alternate types. Again, this is an option for those of you who have $300 or $350 sitting around that you have something you want to do with. Okay, it's burning a hole in your pocket. Its purpose, or my purpose in doing this review, is to show you the full options, because you'll either turn around and want to buy one of these, or you'll see how much more valuable the watches that Mr. Tix is reviewing are, and you'll see that it's quite a good idea in many cases to maybe go for the other watch. In my case, I absolutely love the weight of this watch. I love the build quality of this watch. I love how it functions. I love everything about it. I'm very, very happy to have this watch. I was waiting for it forever. You won't believe the looks I get when I use Samsung Pay, and even just wearing the watch. So at this point, I'd like to thank you all for your time and your kind attention. Mr. Tix, as always, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your channel. And for everybody out there, happy holidays, happy and healthy New Year, and I wish you all the best. Until next time, I'm Morry from SmartWatch Tix North, saying bye for now.
Wow, now that was worth it. That's Morry doing a number. I'm sold. I want one. Morry, where's the watch? I want one. I really like that. Now, of course, $350. On sale maybe for $300. It's a little bit pricey, but it's got a lot of features that would be really nice to see on the watches we review on this channel. Anyway, if you're new to the channel and you're interested, of course, in the Gear S3, take a look at some of the other videos we've got of some of the pure Android watches and compare, see what you got. I bet you're going to end up with probably both in the end. That one and one of these other ones. If you really like what you see here, we invite your subscription. You'll get notified. I wish a watch a week, maybe. Sometimes it's that much. But you'll get notified when we have reviews of new watches. And 2017 is going to prove to be quite the year for these Chinese and other smartwatches. And if you've got yourself a Android Wear watch or even an Apple Watch, Series 2, 3, whatever, that you'd like to review as a guest reviewer for us, we could certainly take a look at your video and probably host it here on SmartWatch Tix, get a lot of visibility. A lot of folks are interested in these watches. So thanks again, Morry, really. Thank you so much for your present of the review, making me yearning now, of the Gear S3. Really, really good review. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again soon.